Yowzers. I meant to record this and I went live. So we'll just make best of it. All right. So testing out a series called The Accidental Manager, and I've been doing little short clips. I'm doing a little bit longer video. So let's just get to the point. Um, there are two types of managers out there, and I think sometimes we confuse the two, right? And really, this series is about people who you may not have intended to go into management or whatever, or it just became part of your job description. So this is for the people that didn't necessarily get trained, and so this is the accidental manager. And so we need to ask yourself before you get too far into this: Are you managing people? Are you managing processes? Those are the two types of managers out there. Um, Here's the thing: a lot of people, there are people out there that actually really do want the manager title, and they have their reasons for it. And I'm not faulting them for it, but a lot haven't really thought through what the job actually requires. So we're going to talk about the difference between managing processes and managing people. Is it processes, processes, however we want to say it? Um, and I want to challenge people to ask whether they want to lead people or just be in charge. So let's talk about it. Being a manager is not just about keeping work moving. That's process management. Managing people actually means helping human beings grow, solve problems, get better, perform better at their job, stay aligned with the work, and also I think a key component is making them attractive to other hiring managers. You know, my biggest feather in my cap when I was a supervisor is if this staff member that I'm developing is somebody that another manager wants to hire and trust with their team. Okay. If you only want control, status, or authority, management may not actually be what you want. Go buy an ant colony or something. Okay. A lot of people are all fired up about becoming managers until they realize it's not just about being in charge. It's about actually being responsible for people. Um, some people are really good at managing task schedules, checklists, systems, and all that other stuff. That doesn't automatically mean that they're ready to manage people. And I've seen it happen time and time again where you get a person that is phenomenal at managing systems and processes, um, and all the other stuff, and they get slid into a job where they actually have to manage people, and the team ends up hating them. They end up regressing. The person who got put into that position, that management position, is not fulfilled or happy with their job because they thought it was just as simple as managing schedules and checklists and systems. They didn't know they were going to have to manage staff development and emotions and things along those lines. So one doesn't always mean the other one. And the other side is if you want to come in and manage people and they put you in the in the seat where you just got to manage processes, you might get bored out of your mind. Okay. And so that's where a lot of accidental managers get into trouble. Okay. So there's a ton of people out there that become managers by accident. There's also a ton of people that where that's just their natural trajectory, even though they never thought about it. They're really good at their job and they ended up getting promoted, or somebody left and they said, "Okay, who's the next available person?" You step up and now you're the manager. Or you took like I did with my first management slash supervisor job. I put in an application. I didn't think I was going to get hired for it, and I ended up being the best candidate for the position. So they were reliable and leadership trusted them. They knew the process, so somebody assumed that they could lead the team. But knowing the work is not the same thing as knowing how to lead people. You can be fantastic at the job and still be unprepared to manage people actually doing the job. And it's not a character flaw. I don't want you to beat yourself up for it. Most people were never taught really how to manage other human beings. They were just handed a title, a team, and a set of expectations. And more times than not, they'll default towards what they're really good at. So if they're great at managing processes and systems, that's what they'll bury themselves in. And their team will just kind of be out in the lurch. Team will be an afterthought. But if they're really good at managing people, then the processes and systems get forgotten about. And depending on where you work, that can be a minor inconvenience to an absolutely catastrophic event. So you just got to be cognizant of this stuff. Okay. So managing processes means that you're more focused on how the system works. This is deadlines, this is schedules, this is reports, procedures, workflows, metrics. We're talking about compliance, we're talking about productivity, quality control. So process management asks, is the job getting done? Is the system working as expected? Are we hitting our numbers? Are people following the steps? And where are the gaps? Where are the breakdowns? This does matter. Okay. A team with no processes is just a bunch of chaos agents all assembled in one room. Okay. Um, but process management is only one side of management. Okay. Managing people means that you're more focused on the humans actually doing the work. Okay. This includes things like coaching, communication, conflict resolution, motivating your staff, developing your staff, having accountability for your staff, having accountability for yourself, and developing trust and giving feedback. You manage burnout, team culture. There's a lot of other stuff that goes into it. And people management asks, does this person understand what's expected? Do they have the tools to succeed? Are they struggling with a skill? Is it a will? Is it a clarity? Do they need support? What do we need to make this person the most successful at the job that we've put them in? Do they feel safe to bring up problems? Are they just growing or are they just surviving? Do they even want to move up the ladder? Are they meeting their goals? Am I helping them become the best version of themselves in this place? Okay. Processes keep the work moving, people keep the organization alive. So here's where this is where it crosses over. A lot of new managers hide inside process management until it feels safer, or they hide inside of managing people until it feels safer. They focus on the schedule, they focus on the numbers, they focus on the checklist, they focus on who did or did not complete the task. That stuff is really easy to manage. But people management is really kind of a messy process, and it requires hard conversations, it requires patience, requires emotional control. It requires you to be able to put aside watching this staff member absolutely mutilate the baby of systems that you've created, because they don't understand it. Okay. And so it also requires you listen before you correct. You got to understand that not every performance is solved by, well, I need you to do better. Okay. And so if your only management tool is correction, you're not leading, you're just policing people. Okay. So we need to be cognizant of that. Now, on the other hand, like people management, if you just escape into people management, um, this is where you're missing deadlines. um, you're not hitting your numbers. That your department's not hitting your numbers. Paperwork documentation is not getting completed on time. You're running into compliance issues, and so you're leaning into talking with staff and developing staff and making sure staff it feels good. I've gotten into it where things that were supposed to be simple supervision meetings with staff turn into full-blown conversations about their life and all kinds of other stuff. That stuff is important, but also, hey, are we doing A and B to keep us from getting investigated and to keep people, keep compliance agencies from breathing down our neck? Are we doing the things that we're supposed to be doing? And so there it's a double-edged sword. And it's a balancing act. Okay. And that stuff doesn't require management. The emotional side, managing your employees' emotional needs, there is no measurement tool for that. Okay. So the next question you got to ask is, do you even want to be a manager? And this is the part that people really need to be honest about. Do you want to be a manager because you just want to be in charge? Or do you actually want to lead? These aren't the same things. These are two separate things. Some people want the title because they want more money, they want the status, they want the control. They're tired of being told what to do. And if you're tired of being told what to do, then you probably need to avoid any sort of management. Because if you land in middle management, that is most of what your job is being told what to do by the people below you and being told what to do by the people above you. Okay. They think management is people finally have to listen to you. And I've seen plenty of malicious compliance in my day to understand that, unless you actually are there to support your staff and they feel empowered, um, they will find ways to do what you do to a point where it actually harms your productivity. Um, they want to make decisions but never carry any responsibility. I've said this time and time again. Leadership is service. Okay. Leadership is a service. Okay. A lot of times people want power without understanding the weight of it. So a manager does not just get authority, they inherit problems, they inherit people's confusion, they inherit poor systems, they inherit the conflict. Okay. And so if you just want to be in charge, management will expose you fast. The right reasons to manage. And this is just my personal opinion. And your mileage may vary. There are reasons to pursue management positions. You may be ready to manage if you care about helping people get better, if you care about building a stronger team or work culture. I hate that buzz phrase, but that's really what it is. If you want to create clarity, if you want to solve problems before they turn into um, giant monsters that devour everything in sight. Um, if you want to hold people accountable without humiliating them, if you want to develop people without just punishing them, okay, if you want to build the next generation of leadership coming behind you. So good managers ask, why is this person? They don't just ask why this person is failing. They ask, was the expectation clear? I talk about the difference between, is it something they cannot do or something they will not do? A cannot do is a training opportunity for me. A will not do is a redirection or even a corrective action from me. Okay. So they'll ask, was the training good enough? Did we give feedback early enough? Did we ignore canaries in the coal mine and ignore warning signs? Is there a skill deficit issue or is it a motivation issue? Or is it one of my beloved systems that is not meeting, that makes sense in my brain, but nobody else can understand it? I've done that and I've experienced that and I've lived that. Okay. What is my responsibility in all of this? This doesn't mean that your employees are never accountable. They're 100% accountable. But leadership makes you look at the full picture before you end up just shifting blame to the person. Okay. Bad managers look for a bag man. They look for they look for somebody to hold the bag, somebody to blame. Good managers looks for what needs to be fixed. And before I started this episode, I had an entire different episode in mind. So because I've dealt with bad management. So we're going to talk about that on another episode. Okay. So we'll give you a short test. If you want to be a manager, ask yourself these questions. Do you like helping people improve even when it's slow? Can I correct someone without making it personal or taking it personal? Because those are two different things. Can I listen to feedback from people I supervise? That's challenging. That one is hard. Can I set expectations clearly? That one's hard too, because clear to me and clear to you may be two different things. Um, Translating the things that are in my head into words is not a very clean process, but it's one of the few processes that we have to communicate ideas to each other. Okay. Can I hold people accountable without needing to dominate their existence? Okay. Can I care about both the work and the worker? And can I admit when the system is the problem? All right. Can I deal with conflict without avoiding the conflict or escalating it or participating in it? The answer is no to most of these. It doesn't mean that you can never manage. It means that you need to develop your your skill set, your toolkit, if you will. Okay. Before you take on the role or even while you're in it, because you can always become better at what you do. And that's the point of the accidental manager, y'all. Most managers, they're not out to just dominate people and they're not just bad people. A lot of times they're undertrained people in roles that make a difference to the company, the organization, and to the workers. Okay. So let's wrap this up. Management is not just a promotion, it's responsibility. Leadership is a service. If you manage processes well, you can keep well organized. But if you manage people well, you can build something stronger than just another checklist. You can build trust and consistency and execution. Okay. You can build people that allow you to have a sick day. You know that you can pass the responsibility to them and the job is going to get done. I used to tell my staff, I'm training you to do 2 levels up above what your job is, which basically means I'm training my direct care staff to actually do my job so that if something comes up and I'm not available, they can kind of slide into the role and and steer the boat until I get back. Okay. You can build people up, know what they are doing and why it matters and how to get better. That's really what it is. So the question is, it's not just do you want to be a manager? The better question is, are you ready to be responsible for people? If you are, welcome aboard. All right. So if this is something you're dealing with, I'm testing out a new project called the Accidental Manager. It's for supervisors and managers and team leads who are put in charge but never really taught how to lead. If that's something you like, if that's something you like, let me know in the comments. If you want more of these, let me know in the comments, and I'll build out the platform and even maybe kind of a networking community for people that want to learn better management skills or were thrust in the position. Okay. So let me know, send me a message, give me a thumbs up, like wherever you see this, share it with somebody that this can make a difference for. That's really what's important. And let me know if this is something you're interested in. I will talk to y'all later.